four of you reconvene outside of 11th Street. The station, not the person, but you're also outside of the person, except for 11th Street, who is within himself.
More or less.
It's been a few days since the events of the last session where 11th Street was forcefully evicted. The person, not the place.
Well, this is getting a little confusing, guys.
One of you was condemned and the other one was evicted.
Yeah.
And also, I told you not to pick your address for your name, Roomies.
Well, I mean...
So what do we call you now? Rachel's roommate?
11th Street's fine, isn't it?
Mailbox?
Mailbox? What?
Mailbox.
I'm gonna fix things.
While you guys are figuring this out, I'm going to draw our first Sooth card, get things going.
Oh, it'll be something easy to remember, Rachel. Damn it.
And we're going to start with the unwelcome child. We know this one. So whose symbol is that?
Fuck this kid. It's
The
me.
broken fidget.
Oh, yes, that's why you got robbed last time.
Yeah.
So you will have -1 to everything you attempt, because
Every
the unwelcome
time.
child is your apprentice.
Every time.
Melon's bad luck strikes again.
So this is actually kind of a fitting starting point, because where we left off, things did not go great for you guys last session.
Yeah.
You got evicted, and you're currently standing in front of the place you got evicted from. It's all taped up with, like, caution, do not cross, but you don't hear anyone inside currently.
Hey, Rachel.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that angel thing that was trying to kill me is still down there?
Probably not. Asked to clean up the place and make it safe for people.
You didn't seem rather efficient.
I don't know. You guys fancy sneaking on in?
Hell yeah, I do. Let's go.
Wait, is Roger watching?
Well, he's fucking always watching.
I know, that's my point.
Is there any way we can, I don't know, distract him or something?
Good afternoon, Roger.
Send him to a nearby dance club.
Roger doesn't wave back.
He never does.
Only when the breeze blows. Anybody got any ideas?
What if we ask Erish to distract him while we sneak in there?
You got like candy or something you can bribe the little one with?
We do know a shop for that.
That's true.
Guys, you don't need to bribe them with candy. I knock on Roger. Just like a polite little on a door knock. Like.
Okay. And you do hear Roger's, what is it? And you also see like a little doe that peek its head out.
Hello, Roger. Can your occupants come out and play?
All right, I'm done with them anyway.
So we're just going to play what I'm assuming is just like the biggest, loudest, most chaotic game of cops and robbers that we can. Just the biggest, most distracting, most insane game of cops and robbers and Rogers. Because he is playing with us, he's the jail. He can be the warden if he wants.
You can make an interaction roll to distract Roger.
I'm adding wrangling children.
Absolutely.
Cops and Rogers?
Cops and Rogers.
That's just two cops.
Good cop, bad cop?
It's one cop and one snitch. So I'm gonna spend a thingy, and I'm adding 2 to the roll.
Yeah.
And I got a 0, so the result is 2.
Okay. You think Roger's distracted.
We're having fun. I'm distracted.
That sounds right.
You all look over and only Rachel is clearly distracted.
Yeah, it went about as well as I thought it did.
I'm playing with the woodland creatures.
How was this supposed to help us?
This may bode well for the rest of us. Shall we?
Yes.
No time like present.
Okay, are you trying to slip in without Roger noticing?
Something like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Then everyone who's attempting that can make a movement stealth roll.
Oh, great.
I have a skill for that.
I get a -1. Oh, God. We'll roll better this time. God damn it.
So your total is -1.
A -1. I have a -1.
Oh, God.
It's going well for me.
9, because I spent a benet on movement.
I'm going to spend a sortilege on this, because I think that's fun.
Absolutely delicious.
It's okay, Malin trips over her own feet.
Okay, so that is a pair of 7s, and I get +2.
Oh, great. So the professor and 11th Street are both being very sneaky. And then Malin's like, oh, are we going?
and walks directly into the caution tape. It gets kind of trapped in it like it's a spider web.
Malin, what are you? I'm gonna get you free.
But the three of you descend down into the station. I'm going to draw a new card and let you guys know that we are entering action mode.
No way this could go poorly for me.
Well, there's a new card.
Our new card is the Imperator.
Oh god, that's
Which is-
not good.
Oh no,
Nice.
that's great. That's a sovereign.
Especially for me.
Oh,
So that's
you're not
that's
even
only
there.
Rachel's sovereign.
Yep.
So you have +2 to everything you do, and everyone else has +1.
Yay!
Nice.
Right?
I don't get caught by the tiny cops.
You're the robber?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
As the three of you descend, a few things you notice. One, the place is cleaner than you left it, but it did not get finished getting cleaned. Two, there's always been like a train that just sort of sat on the tracks.
Mhm.
And a light has turned on in it, and it seems to be moving. And I do need all three of you to make an intelligence resist roll.
How
So-
do we do that?
Roll intelligence. If you have a skill in resist, it applies, or something similar.
Intellect?
Yeah, in intellect, sorry. So the same way you roll any other skill check, you can spend Benny from intellect if you want.
I'm gonna spend a couple.
And
of
I will
Benny.
be nice and let you guys know that this is a magical effect, so less than 2 successes is an automatic failure.
Okay.
So if you're only rolling 1 die, you fail.
You're hooped.
Okay. So
all
spend
right.
the sortilege then.
Yeah.
Sortilege as well.
So do you spend an intellect on the sortilege?
Yeah, then you can get +1 and roll 2 die.
I shall.
My regular die, I got a total of 3, and my magic die, I got a total of 6. Your static bonuses add to both die, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so 3 and 6.
Your Bene? Your
Yeah.
static bonus? Or
Yes.
your skill? Okay. Yeah.
Skill or Bene or
Yeah.
I.
we also
Is
get
that the
+1.
magic die, or
Oh, right.
that's your mundane die? Okay, so no
Thank you for
no
reminding me.
flux.
Yeah.
But all of you have failed to roll.
Yep.
Oh no.
What happens is you see the tracks that the train is on bend and leave the normal way and turn towards the stairs that you're coming down. And the train starts moving and starts heading towards and up the stairs. This is action mode, so what are you guys doing?
Whoa.
There's now a train coming towards you.
We weren't wounded from that save.
No.
Order, right?
No. The failed save attracted the train.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They can smell failed saves. I take public transit everywhere. I know these things.
Does the train seem like it's an animate thing? Does it seem like it is a being, or is it just an object being moved?
That's hard to say. You can make me a roll to see
Okay.
if you can tell the difference. So be perception.
I will spend a Bene in perception. I don't know if this applies. I have a skill for identifying emergent magical effects.
That applies.
So I'm not going to use sortilege, but that is a 9 plus 3.
So 12?
Yeah.
The train is not a creature. It is moving because of a magical effect.
So shooting it probably won't stop it.
Suplex it.
Do a barrel roll.
Suplex the train.
Malin casts Protecting Hand of the Divine on herself. It is a translucent nimbus of energy surrounds my body, granting me +1 armor.
Is that one of your advanced spells?
Yes,
Are you spending the sorcery to hold on to it? To cast it?
I absolutely am not. Not
Okay.
this time.
I think I have to burn Walking Among Ghosts. I become insubstantial like a spirit. I can't affect the world around me, nor be affected by it. I can move through solid objects, and it may end at any round.
Okay. Only Rachel, what are you doing outside?
Running away from the tiny cops?
Okay.
I'm assuming I hear sounds of distress and fear.
Probably. Are you guys making sounds of distress? Actually, judging by Malin's stealth roll, yes, they are making sounds of distress and
Yeah.
fear.
Almost always, yeah.
Oh shit!
You guys should go all hang out in Roger again for a bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds like things are getting spooky.
Serious hypothetical question. What if I said this was as subtle as a freight train and conjured a freight train?
I mean, that's a thing you could have tried.
That is a thing I could have
You took
tried.
that one.
You can try.
No. Proceed.
Okay, so your turn is essentially going to be heading towards the station to...
Yeah, heading toward the station and letting Erish know that things are getting dangerous and that they should go to the safety of Roger.
Okay. I need to bring up my creature here.
What?
Rules on how to smash players.
With train.
With train.
Train falls, everybody dies.
Yeah, dungeon masters out there. Have you ever tried just hitting your players with a train?
I think the answer is yes.
Yeah. We had some
Okay.
positive train memories.
So, what happens here is you are all affected by a fear effect.
Okay.
Which ultimately means that the three of you run out of the station, and the train does
Okay.
not follow you out.
Okay.
You realize upon exiting that that effect was an illusion.
We still spent all our abilities and stuff, though, right?
Yeah, you still
Okay.
used your things. You
Okay.
didn't know until this point that train was not real.
Oh, damnation. I can fix this. We can get inside still. Just
Is everyone
Give me-
okay? Rachel just starts the full-on broken bone triage. Like, are you guys okay? Are you guys hurt?
touch me.
Are you,
Stop
I
it.
need to see if your bones are...
Fine.
Fine.
Fine. I'm supposed to bend like that.
Okay. I've seen weirder bones.
I would like to head back inside and counterspell the illusion.
Okay. Is anyone else heading back in?
Yeah, I'm going with the professor.
So this is effectively a new round of action mode. I'm supposed to draw a card every round.
Oh, heck. Because can't we just keep that one?
The Endless Maze. This is going to enhance blue magic and diminish red.
The 3 of ninja stars.
And it's on the blue sun, so it's going to enhance blue magic twice.
Counterspell's blue magic, right?
It is invisible.
Does that mean that costs are reduced?
Either cost are reduced or level goes up of the spell, your choice.
Oh, okay. If it's forte ability.
Ooh,
Forte ability cost reduced.
okay. Duly noted.
By 1 or by 2?
By 2 in
By
this
2.
case, because it's doubly enhanced. If it's red, the cost went up by 1.
Because I have a blue spell. Okay.
So you head back in.
Mhm.
The train is just still and resting where it had been originally. There isn't a light on it. The tracks haven't bent. And the train doesn't seem active in any way. But there is a different thing that you see there. And actually, I'll give this one to Rachel. Do you want to make a perception test for me?
Yeah. Perception test. And I'm going to spend one of these bad boys so that I roll 2 of them. Yes. 6 and 5.
You cross the tape of the others, and you walk walk down the stairs, and you notice that there's a bunch of this like safety tape around everywhere. But you specifically notice that the safety tape has gone around and formed a goetic summoning circle.
Naughty. Someone did bad.
Now, all of you see, and I brought the stats for it, but not the picture, so you're going to have to give me a second.
It's okay, it's a radio play.
It's even better.
So I'm sure everyone really cares that I'm giving you guys a picture of the thing.
I'm ready.
We will describe it.
Yes, in most lurid detail. Maybe not lurid, though.
Oh no, I like lurid.
How
Let's
about
go
like
with lurid.
each of us pick a feature to describe? And we'll go around the table. And it'll be kind of like the 5 blind men and the elephant. Like,
I have a prediction for Lisa, but never mind.
All I know is that in my head so far, it looks like the big alien from Space Jam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah.
there you go.
Okay, so what has happened here is the summoning circle is all around one of the big train station clocks that keeps everything on time. And that is the thing you guys see.
Clock.
Golem thing.
It's like a clockwork guy from Bioshock. Big Daddy.
Clock Cyclops, perhaps?
Clops.
Clocklops. Just rolls off the tongue.
its head looks like a diving bell, like it's underwater. So yeah, I was going for the Bioshock pull too.
Bioshock, yeah.
It has a Bioshock feel
It's
to
like a
it.
clockwork Big Daddy.
There you go. A little bit.
Yeah.
Clocklops. That's what we will call
Clocklops.
him now.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Terrible. Love it.
Oh,
Clock Dad.
Yeah. Thanks, I hate it.
I do point at Clock Dad. I point at Clock Dad.
Mhm.
And I cast Accord Savagery. A faraway being that I point to is surrounded by doves. The being will not take a hostile action on their next turn. It's blue magic.
Okay, so you'll need to make a roll to have it succeed.
It's level 1 blue magic, but we're in Mega Blue.
Yeah, so it's actually level 3 blue magic.
Level 3,
So
there's
it
so
adds
many.
3 to your roll.
There's just an absolute storm of train station pigeons.
Pigeon storm.
Okay,
2019.
so yeah, your mundane die and a magic die.
And I spend a sorcery to cast a spell.
Right.
And then
You
I roll
add a
the
total
dice.
of 3 because that's the level of the spell.
Okay. Yeah. 9 and 3. 9 and 6, rather.
9 and 6.
Yes.
He has a resist +2, and he's a level 5 creature, which means the target is 7, and both need to succeed against him. So the doves start flying by, but you know how some of those things will make the sharp sound that makes all the birds fly away?
Oh, yeah.
So just one of the minute hand clicks over, and all the birds are like, "Oh shit!" and scatter away from him.
Oh, damn. Okay, well.
Everyone else?
Well, quick question. Knowing that this is a magical summon sort of creature, would I have any hope of damaging it with just a straight up physical attack?
Magic creatures need something magical to affect them.
Okay, that's what I figured.
But you can use sortilege to make a regular attack magical. Mechanically, what it is you need 2 die to succeed against them.
Right. Well, maybe I'll give it a shot. I do have a sledgehammer, which I'm guessing is a heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, inflicts 6 points of damage if I can hit.
If you can hit, absolutely. That's
Okay.
a lot of damage.
I'm gonna roll up, rocking my sledgehammer. Okay, I gotta spend a sortilege to make it magical.
Go,
Yep.
go.
Get out of my house.
And then an accuracy.
Yeah, an accuracy for
Okay.
bows to hit.
And I have a relevant skill. My tinkering specifically says Clockworks.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's
So-
a relevant skill.
I know where to swing on this thing. Okay, so I've got +2 to my rolls and 2 dice. Let's see if I can. Nope. That's an 11 and a 3.
And it doesn't have any resistance against physical attacks, but the target is still 5, so the 3
Yep.
doesn't get it.
Ping.
So yeah, you go up there and you give a good swing, and it cracks into it, but you just get a whole lot of reverb as it seems totally unaffected. Your arm goes a little numb.
Oh shit!
I'm going to try casting a telekinesis kind of spell. I'm going to throw something at it using the keywords distance and mental damage.
Okay.
Not my couch.
To his couch.
Yeah, I'll do the couch.
Be a good sized projectile.
Kill that couch.
Yeah, well,
Kill that couch.
let's see. How high a level do I have to move
Oh,
something?
not that much, I don't think. Maybe like 3.
Couch is fairly heavy.
Move up to 125 pounds at level 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that's ongoing.
Oh, yeah, no, 1 time should be.
Move up to 625. Okay, move up to 125 pounds once right away is a level 4 ability. So I'm going to do that because level 4 is also inflict 4 damage.
Okay, great.
So I spend my 4 sorcery bene, and then I roll my magic dices, and my 1 magic die, regular. Magic has a 0.
So there's a flux.
Yeah.
Yay.
My totals are 8 and 4.
Okay, so the couch goes flying against this thing, and you hear an unfortunate crack,
Not my couch!
and it was not the clock that got cracked.
Oh, that's gonna be expensive. Fix.
Oh, I have to pick a flux.
Getting fluxed.
Oh, okay, that's neat. So somewhere on 11th Street's person, something just got a little bit heavier. When you find it, the little pigs in a blanket that you have been carrying around is now made of marble.
Is it still alive?
Yes.
Reinforced. I
That's it.
fucking love it.
All
That's
nearby
good.
small food items and liquids turn into perfectly carved marble replicas.
Oh my god, I'm making
He's
a note
probably
of that.
jazzed as hell.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably stoked about it.
Granite
Also-
in a blanket.
Now he's not rotting because there isn't weirdly
Oh,
rotting
yeah.
bacon tied to him.
Yeah, the bacon is also marble.
Your pocket full of bacon.
Oh no!
Oh, didn't I get rid of that at one point?
I mean, we wished you would.
Oh, okay. So I have a granite bacon. I like it.
For a second, I was afraid that you were driving in your Chevy and feeling something heavy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. But I'm no. That's just the thing I say.
Oh, right. And I
Wanna make
I
sure
totally forgot an effect, so I'm gonna re-narrate what happened when you went to swing that sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
So you went up there, and you fucking take a crack at it, and realize that you're still incorporeal.
Oh, I would have had to have checked
We
the end
should
of every
check.
round. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many rounds went by between the two combats?
One.
Nope.
Fine.
Yep.
And we'll have to check at the end of this round as well. But yeah, you went up there and you took a swing at it, and it's like, oh, right, I can't affect things or be affected.
Does that mean the granite thing didn't happen?
Nope.
That's a magic effect. Okay, I like it. Okay.
Yeah, your guy is still made of marble,
Sorry.
because I liked it, so
Yep.
it happened anyway.
I dig it
I
a
like
lot.
Also,
I
if anyone had any small food or drink on them, it is now marble.
Okay, Rachel has definitely got a pocket full of marble candy. If you think she doesn't go everywhere with a pocket full of candy, I don't think I've been playing this character correctly.
I'm
Do
gonna
not-
give those to someone, and they're gonna bite into
Yeah.
it.
Actual jawbreakers.
Do not eat those.
All right, so we still have Malin.
So it looks like everyone has taken an attack, and I don't think the thing has really done anything. Can I hold an action, or do I just lose a turn?
Tell me what you're trying to do. I don't think holding an action exists in this, but I'll let you say I do this under this condition.
Instead of that, I'm going to watch all of my friends hurl stuff at it, and I'm going to do this. I will cast Uzukora's Quadriparte Assault, which is just magic missile. And it says, from my outstretched hand, 4 beams of magical force twist and wind their way towards my chosen target. Each attack inflicts 2 points of damage, and each can strike a different target, the same target, or any combination. Since each attack is separate, each requires its own roll, and armor applies to each. So, this was dumb, but I'm going to do it.
Okay, what level is that spell?
It is 5 plus 1 die.
Yeah, well, plus one die is just letting you know that
Yeah.
this is something that you typically go against an opponent for, so you do need to roll 2 die.
Yep.
Does it have a color on it?
It does. It's red.
Okay, so it's actually a level 4 effect, or you can spend one sorcery to have it be level 5. You
Oh,
didn't
then
actually have
I-
to spend a sorcery because it was a advanced spell.
Yeah,
But
advanced spells. Love it. So I will do that. Spend a sorcery. It will be level 5.
Okay.
Still.
So, guys, Invisible Sun hates us, yeah?
Oh, just me.
Oh, sometimes.
Yeah?
Only sometimes.
Just checking.
So now I roll
First beam, roll.
2 dice.
Yeah.
Correct? I got a 6 and a 3.
The first beam connects.
Yay!
Second beam,
Well, it's also plus a bunch, right?
plus 5 for the level of the spell. So you
Yes.
need to beat 2 on the lower of the 2 die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got a 7 and a 9.
Second beam connects.
Go!
Third, I got a 0 and an 8.
Is the 0 on the magic die?
Yes.
Okay, a flux happens.
Great.
But go ahead and roll the next one because it's not going to stop your next attack.
Damn it! I got a 0 and a 6.
And that's on the magic die?
It is.
Right?
So you cause 2 separate fluxes.
Quit fluxing my house.
Okay.
Flux you guys!
You might.
I can't actually speak because I can't affect the physical world, so I can't make vibrations in the air.
One of them, you gain a vexed physicality. A vex is like a negative bene. At some point when you're making a physical roll, I will tell you that you have -1 to this. And the other one, there's like a garbage over in a corner and it lights on fire. There is now a garbage fire.
Oh no!
Had clothes in that.
An object near you catches on fire.
You should perhaps try keeping those in not a garbage can.
Okay, now it's the unforgiving clock's turn.
Clock Dad.
Clock dad.
Clock Daddy, just to make it
Clock
weird.
daddy. Yeah.
Yeah, Clock Daddy.
Now, just to make it weird, would be the demon going, "Ooh, hurt me, clock daddy." Can you do the voice?
Well,
Yeah. I
Oh,
could.
okay. You
I
could.
could if I
Okay.
wanted. I don't.
you're the only one who successfully hurt it.
Oh crap.
And you did end up causing a wound.
Bye.
So you can go ahead and make me a resist roll. It's intelligence based if you want to spend bene. And if you want to spend sortilege for an extra die, you can.
Is it physical and or armor? I'm asking.
It's trying to do mental damage to you.
Okay, so armor is not going to help me.
Armor is not going to apply in this case.
Do I need to roll 2 successes to win?
In this case, no.
Okay.
but rolling an extra die would give you the... If either one was a success, you'd succeed.
I don't have that many sortilege.
Understood.
I rolled a 7.
Nice. So what happened? The hour hand on the clock started turning, and everything for you started going slow for a second, and then you kind of came back to it, and you just... The clock hand's just turning whenever. You're fine. We begin a new round, so we draw a new Sooth card. We have the Harvesting Spider,
Ah!
enhancing red magic and diminishing blue magic.
Ah, shit.
Damn it!
Wrong round.
It's the 2 of...
Yeah, so that won't matter for this.
It's the 2 of radioactives.
Yeah, think of it as like a weird chakram.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was its turn. Who wants to go?
I'm going to investigate the magic circle. I'm going to see what I can learn about the caster by examining their work.
Okay, so this is definitely going to be a roll.
Yeah.
Let's call this... I'll let you make it either intelligence or perception. Both seem applicable to this.
I'm going to go with perception. I'm going to spend a Benjamin. I have a dice, which I will then roll.
Yeah, you're getting it. Soon you'll know how to play this game.
Someday. Here's how I play this game. I just shout. I just yell all the time, and then eventually things happen. Chaka. So that is a 6. 5 on the dice, and 1 from having spent a perception bene.
Okay,
And I know what they're called.
they're called Benjamins.
I like Benjamins.
I'm all about the Benjamins.
It's like in D&D when we started calling them peepers and jeepers.
Mm-hmm.
So the things you can learn based on the circle. 1, the Goetic that made it is a higher rank than you are. 2, you can tell that the creature was summoned for the purposes of defense. But that's probably what you get out of it.
Guys, it was called here to guard this place by somebody who's a little bit out of my league.
Okay, who's up next?
I was supposed to roll to
roll.
check this at the end of every round.
Check your depletion.
Nope.
You're still incorporeal.
Cool.
Neat.
Yep.
Thrilling. I'm gonna try and hit it with the couch again.
Okay.
Poor mangled couch.
My poor couch.
I love it.
So I spend my last for sorcery bene. Correct me if I'm wrong. Trying to hit something should be an accuracy check, right? So
You can spend an accuracy for +1 for this because you were trying to hit it.
Well, I happen to have 3 bonus accuracy bene, so I'm gonna fucking burn them.
Okay, yeah. So that gives you a passive 7, right?
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Okay.
What color is this spell, by the way? Is it red or blue?
This is
Oh, it's something different.
It doesn't really matter because you don't need to roll to hit it.
Hooray.
Because you have +7, so a 0 is a hit.
Okay, but I need to find out if there's a flux, right?
Actually, in this case, because there wasn't
Chance of
a
failure.
chance of failure, you didn't need to overexert yourself and risk the flux. So it works. How much damage does it do? 4 points?
4.
Okay, it's taken 4 from you and 4 from you, which means it has received a second wound, and that's not great for it. Most things have 3 wounds. You guys have 3 wounds.
Oh.
The capacity to take 3 wounds. I hope I don't have 3
Oh,
wounds.
yes. If you actually have 3 wounds, then you're dead.
I can be a ghost.
You can.
You
You're still
did
dead.
Ghost.
Who's up next? So you two are going, still you two. The podcast listeners couldn't see who I pointed to, but I got it right.
Yep. Well, while I'm incorporeal, I may as well do a quick sweep of the trains to see if they've messed with anything else, I think.
Okay. So
Some kind of perception.
yeah, this would
roll?
definitely be perception.
Ordinary die. A 7.
All right. You take a look around. A lot of stuff around here has been tidied. Nothing is where you left it.
Oh shit, how the hell am I supposed to find anything?
I bet your clothes aren't even in that.
Except for
trash pile.
that flaming
Oh,
can of garbage.
yeah.
Yeah, I bet someone took your clothes.
It's actually trash, not clothes.
They've taken your things. Now you can get new ones.
Well, I can't touch anything right now.
Fuck. Okay.
Please tell me the mic picked that up, please.
I have an advanced question.
Yeah.
If I use a spell,
Mhm.
do I have to prepare more spells?
No, you prepare more spells. It takes an hour to prepare more spells.
Okay.
If you use a spell, you can either spend the sorcery to hang on to it or lose it, but you don't get to fill in the gaps until after you have a break to fill them in.
Cool. trying to decide if I held on to do magic flux spell.
Oh yeah, like with 4 rolls, well, I guess 8 rolls.
Oh yeah,
That spell's perfect for
it's red now.
fluxing.
So I did spend them. I am out of sorcery.
Do the 2 flux from hers?
Yes,
Yeah.
one of them gave a vex, and one of them lit a garbage on fire.
A
Right,
nearby
I-
object.
I was
Flame.
definitely paying attention.
Okay, well, since it now looks like red is enhanced, I will again cast Magic Missile. I'm just going to call it that, because it is.
The maker of that is going to be really upset.
Oh,
Real
yeah.
Magic
upset.
Missile.
Yeah.
It's like it's way closer to Scorching Red.
It is, that's true.
Okay, so the level of the spell normally is
5.
5, but this time plus 1, so 6. So you need 1 on the lower of the 2 die to hit. Roll 4 times.
I roll so many zeros. Let's find out.
Yep.
Hit.
No zeros. No zeros.
No whammies.
2 zeros.
2 whammies.
Flux, that's still only
Yeah.
a regular flux,
Still
because
only-
one of them is a mundane die,
And the last one,
No
I got a
whammies.
1 and a 2.
which is good enough in this case. 3 of the beams just pierce through this clock, and it tumbles to the ground and starts just bits of the inside are still trying to tick, but it's clearly no longer a threat to you guys.
So sorry, Mr. Clock.
Also, anytime that you come near food for the next week, you can't help but overeat.
Oh, great. Good thing all the food in here is marble.
Fair enough.
But we are no longer in action mode as the clock has been defeated.
Can no longer hold on to this.
Are you checking for how many rounds it'll take before you become
There we go.
corporeal?
Yep.
Oh, look, you're back.
6.
Yeah. it was a bit.
So about a minute later,
I mean, is the creature still alive?
technically, it is dying.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to approach it. According to my character sheet, I'm fluent in all Satans.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally what it says.
Yeah, it's one of my
Yeah,
order
I
of
remember
abilities.
when you wrote that down and remember what it means.
Not
Okay,
kidding.
that's great. Because I have written as the description of one of my spells just varies in capital letters. So I can't, be trusted. I am going to observe my very best demon etiquette and give it some kind of a solemn acknowledgement. Like, I don't know what you say to a dying demon, but I think culturally they've got something.
So
Some kind of very demonic going piece. Like,
you go up to it and it's like, yeah, you wrecked some shit. And it's like, I did. And then the clock stops ticking.
you did wreck some shit.
And we observe a moment of silence.
Just because the clock's not ticking. Like it.
We don't know how
Yeah.
long it was.
That is so offensive. Okay, in the demon's honor, rather than a moment of silence, I go kick over the flaming dumpster. I go kick over the flaming trash can. I feel like that's how you memorialize a
Okay.
demon.
Now there's
Uh,
flaming garbage in your house.
Well, I was gonna say, thanks, Rumi. It's starting to look a little more like home now.
Yeah, I figured this was how you like it.
Okay, yeah, flaming garbage scatters around the area. Good thing that train stations are not particularly flammable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not at all what I was expecting.
Look, we have to pay our respects to the departed.
It tried to kill us.
Before we do anything else, should we be clearing this circle? How does this work?
The circle is actually there to bind it here in this place and to keep it from harming people beyond this what it had agreed to do for the summoner. So while it was here, messing with the circle would have been a terrible idea, but now we can do it, yeah. The circle was there to bind it, so it's moot. I'm actually very interested in this workmanship because to do a magic circle that well out of caution tape,
It was probably that health or safety.
But these summoners, I don't know what nature of magic they were capable of.
Health said I know what a summoning circle looks like when I tried to tell him that I was just tagging. Speaking of which, do you still have spray paint?
Maybe, unless it got cleaned up.
Don't let us summon anything else.
I just
Last
wanna
time
do
it tried
some-
to kill you.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I just want to do some tagging.
That's what she
maybe we
told
should
safety. Help?
We should just hold off on tagging for a minute here.
I'm inspired by the demon I just met, okay?
Yeah, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with the place.
Also, the transition clock is now broken.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of things that are
I'll have
broken.
to fix that too.
Seems right up your alley at least.
Suppose, but somehow I don't think that I'm gonna be left in peace if I stay here.
I'm going to start picking up the caution tape.
Mhm.
I have a couple questions about the caution tape. First of all, does it look like it was all taken off the roll, or does it look like it was gathered up and improvised into this? Like, is it dirty, crumpled, damaged?
What are there other things you're trying to learn about it? I'll probably bundle these into a roll.
Roughly how much is there? Again, to see kind of where they got this. If it's affixed to the ground in
Mhm.
any way, or if the summoner had any way of like getting it to stay in such precise shapes. How they obtained the materials and managed the circle.
You can figure this out. This would be pretty easy. You take a look at it. It is adhered to the ground. They weren't worried about a breeze ruining their summoning circle.
Because that's why I wouldn't use caution tape. That's why I use high-vis yeller.
And it appears to be smooth the whole way around, so you assume that it was never crumpled up, because that stuff will never uncrumple.
Hey guys, this
Yeah?
wasn't scavenged from here. This was taken off the roll.
What's your point?
Mr. Safety set it up.
Whoever did the magic circle has a roll of caution tape.
Well, isn't that just fascinating?
Don't shrug at me like that. I'm trying to solve. Okay. I'm not going to have any kind of outburst. I've already kicked over a trash can. What that means is that what Malin said is probably true.
Yeah, it was that health and safety jackasses.
As opposed to it being a malicious third party or what have you.
Roger's the one that called them, and they came here, and then kicked me out, and then left the clock whatchamacallit-thinger to make sure I stayed out. And
Make
thank
sure
y'all
you
for
stayed out?
removing it for me. I imagine they'll be back at some point.
But now that it's gone, what would you like to do?
We'll gather some of my clothes, I suppose.
As long as they weren't in that garbage can.
Well, some of them were, but you got cleaned up?
Sorry.
It's
I
okay,
mean, I
they
did
were
the
greasy
opposite
ones.
of clean it up.
It's whatever. Point being, thank y'all very much for, well, getting rid of the problem here, but the bigger problem is I gotta deal with that health and safety bureaucracy bullshit still.
On the bright side, at least you don't have to worry about moving your couch out again.
Yeah. You did a number on that couch.
I'm sure you can fix it.
We have the technology.
But we don't want to spend too much money.
Yeah, I slept on that couch for a long time.
I'm going to use a GM shift at this point,
Oh no.
and it's going to give the professor a joy.
A lukewarm beer appears.
You're back in here, and the train station is full of ghosts, as had come up earlier, and you can hear them. The ghosts, for the most part, are talking about trains and schedules, but you hear one that seems to be trying to buy a ticket from someone who isn't there, and it says, "Yes, I'm Axon of the Numa. If you wouldn't mind."
Hang on, I hear something, a name I've heard before. Axon, can you hear me?
Hello. Do you have my ticket?
I may be able to get you one. Where are you headed?
Has the professor gone crazy?
I'm supposed to get on the train. It's connected to the rest of Saturnine. Go ahead and make an interaction roll for me.
Okay. I will spend a couple of Benny and a sortilege on this. That is an 11 at my highest.
Okay. You can piece together from just this little snippet of conversation and the other ghosts around you and what they keep saying that these aren't traditional ghosts.
Mhm.
They're all ghosts that are waiting for a train that never actually arrived here.
Mhm.
This probably isn't Axon himself, but some kind of alternate reality version of Axon.
So like almost a thought form, sort of.
It's kind of like if there was like a divergent timeline where this train got finished
Okay.
and Axon tried to take the train. This Axon is trying to take the train, but a different Axon did something else. You're aware that this isn't actually the person that that Thomas had mentioned to you, but it might know a lot of things that person knew.
Excuse me, sir. I understand that you're trying to leave, but could you tell me where exactly you came from?
I live just 2 blocks over on Limerence Street.
Ah, yes, I've heard of Limerick Street. You know, I can't seem to find it myself. I know you say that it's just 2 blocks over. Do you remember the last time you were there?
I was there just this morning, I think.
And can you tell me how long you've been waiting for the train?
And he seems to trail off. He doesn't seem to be able to remember when he wasn't waiting for the train.
So, this train perhaps used to exist in an alternate timeline where Limerick Street also existed? I don't know. This is rather strange.
Are you an applicant?
An applicant?
Yeah, are you applying to our group?
Yes, of course.
I'm afraid I'll be out of town. I have a train to catch. But please speak to Mafrey. She can sort everything out for you.
Yes, of course. Could you please remind me where I can find her?
I don't have it in front of me, but he gives you an address that is not on Limerence Street.
Okay.
Real quick question. I have a subway map, like an archive
Mhm.
subway map, and because this is my house, would I know whether or not this train station was ever finished? Was it ever completed?
Yeah, this is something that you would have looked up, and it came up in your research previously that the tunnel actually only goes a few feet past where it's collapsed.
Right. It was never finished.
This train station was never finished.
Yeah. Well, I imagine we heard the professor's end of his conversation, right?
Yes, and in fact, you can sort of hear the other end as well.
Oh, okay.
If you try really hard.
It's the kind of thing that you kind of realize that there's always been like some sound around, and you didn't put a finger on it until you tried to isolate an individual one of the voices, that they were voices at all.
Well, I thought they were just in my head the whole time. Oops.
They're in all of our heads.
And in our hearts.
Oh, don't let them get there and shut you off real quick. That was
Okay,
a
me-
joke.
Oh, I get it.
I think perhaps if you have enough of your things and we've studied the place enough, we should get going before someone returns.
Yeah, we've made a bit of a ruckus, I think.
That was mostly you, Emma. That's a rather good spell, you know.
I like it quite. I think I shall get good with it.
Burgers.
Burgers.
I got everyone
Well,
beers last time. Let's go get some burgers. Let's go get our burgers and let's seriously talk about what we've learned and what we know.
Because we got a couple fires going at the same time here. We gotta figure out which one we're sticking with. Yeah.
We have to do the scroll thingy. We have
We
to
got
do
scroll
that.
thingy. We got little kids mystery limmer whatever
I've
street.
already forgotten about half the things we're supposed to do.
We're supposed to jump through the bend or whatever. Yeah, no, you were chomping that bit. Say his name. Go on.
Get out of here.
She's right. We should get out of here.
Oh, my fucking 11th Street. I don't know. Do I apply to, I don't know, open it or have it? How do you uncondemn a place? I got more research to do.
Yeah.
Burgers.
In the meantime, yes.
Yeah.
Let's get out.
Hamburgers.
You had told me that during the time between sessions you were going to do a little bit of research on how condemning a place works.
Mhm.
One thing that you can piece together, originally you didn't have to worry about health and safety because their jurisdiction stopped at Limerence Street.
Right.
If Limerence Street were back, they wouldn't have the authority to condemn you anymore.
Right. Yes, we went through this.
If their jurisdiction stopped at Limerence Street, and there's no Limerence Street, their jurisdiction doesn't stop anymore.
Yeah, it's infinite.
Sounds busy.
Well,
What if you're secretly using it to do nefarious things having to do with the derailment of the ethereal soul train running all through Saturnine in the underground? Maybe you're derailing these souls for some deeper, more nefarious purpose, and you need to condemn a train station, but it's beyond the limits of your jurisdiction, so you need to take those limits and, I don't know, eat them? We never really figured out what happened to the street, and then you've eaten all of your limits, and I guess what I'm trying to say is that I would like a double cheeseburger, and can I get the salad instead of the fries, please? Thanks.
Okay, because the location just changed during that sentence,
Yep.
we will draw a new Sooth card. It's a hunter who is an adept, which I believe means I draw another card immediately. Oh, we have the lucky coin.
Oh, Columbo is back.
oh yeah, this.
And then in which case I do ask the waitress for one more thing, ma'am, and also get a large cream soda.
Okay, so you guys are at some kind of burger place. Burgers all around?
I mean, 11th Street gets a burger, eats half of it, and then just like chain smokes.
I'll have 3 burgers and also some French fries and a Coke.
But yeah, you guys sit down and Malin clearly overeats. Because that's an awesome flux.
Yeah. Just become a stress eater.
And the professor finishes off the last half of 11th Street's burger.
But is there any other planning or anything you want to...
Well, we gotta find this whatever Limerence Street.
We do, but it seems to me that's a less pressing issue than this whole affair with the scroll.
Well, not to 11th Street.
I mean, the thieves, the whatever they are, they're getting further away the longer we wait, I think. We've done some of our research and we've made our plans. Perhaps it is time to look into actually traveling.
Look into Bend.
Yes, yes.
And also go into. Oh, I was just gesturing dramatically.
Nope.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, what are we doing?
I believe it's time to travel.
Okay, all right.
Looking for that blue scroll. Maybe if we find it, we can use it? I don't know.
The scroll is to do with the land of dreams, perhaps. All of these ghosts that still remember Limerence Street, perhaps they have some sort of dreamlike influence and we can...
Maybe we can make it real
Bring
again.
it back, yes.
Yeah.
Bring
Dreams
it
of a
from
street that someone has eaten. Deep. Very deep. I'm into it. Yeah, I'm into it.
Very good.
I remember now, it was a treasure map.
Blue scroll?
Yes.
Well, yes, all the scrolls, the green scroll that we read about, was a treasure map to something greater. We weren't sure what.
Malin's mouth is too full to contribute to a conversation.
Can I sneak a fry from you?
Oh, there would be chunks with that one. You can't hiss with food in your mouth. I know from experience.
Why? Why are you doing that?
Sometimes you get mad at a person and you need to express yourself.
One thing that the professor would remember that I don't know if Dave remembers or if okay. You also had a reason to be hunting down Limerence Street. And that was the notebook that said something about the lockless key from Mercy on Limerence Street. And just kind of mentioned that was important in hunting down their scroll.
I forgot that.
It's fine if the professor is saying, I don't think we need that part. We're gonna go and start making progress. That's fine. I just wanted to be sure because the professor would definitely remember.
I'm gonna talk to Moon because I feel like Moon would probably notice if a whole street got devoured, rolled up like a carpet,
And then eaten like a burrito.
Oh.
We should get burritos.
I mean, it seems
I
to me
can have
that
a churro. I mean, I don't know if I can eat a burrito, but I can have a churro right now. We're having a conversation.
Rachel,
Yeah,
what if it happened during the day?
They serve churros at all hours.
I'm talking about the street.
Listen, the problem here is not that the street has simply disappeared. It is that it has unexisted itself somehow.
Yes. But first of all, I think that the somehow is actually extremely relevant,
Of course,
which Moon may have witnessed.
if it remembers.
I mean, maybe. Moon remembers lots of the things that I certainly don't. Moon's very smart.
I wonder if all the people waiting at the train station were from Limerence Street and just sort of stopped existing.
Oh, they got
Like,
limboed.
Didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be.
Do we want to fast forward to you talking to Moon later that evening?
You know what? Yeah,
I think so.
let's yeah.
Okay. So I'll draw another card because it's another new scene.
Good one. Good
It's
one.
the two of stars. It's the two of...
The enticing jewel. It's enhancing invisible magic. Meanings include greed, money, beauty, goals, and success.
Ooh.
It's talking about like a thing to strive towards. And we'll figure out how that plays in. But at some point, I imagine you're sitting in your giant mailbox. I imagine things folded down. You've moved out so you can
Yeah, sit on
actually
the
see
flap.
the moon. And you end up with a clear night sky,
Good.
which is possibly temporary in your area.
Yeah.
But for the moment, you and Moon can see each other. Moon seems big and shining today.
I tell Moon how lovely I look today.
It's very good to see you.
How have you been up there?
Well, it's been a bit of a lonely day.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But that's okay. You're here now.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what's happened to you?
Well, my roomies moved back in. Their train station got condemned.
Well, I remember you were quite pleased when he had moved on.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was very excited to fix the place up. He loves fixing things. But they did condemn it, so he didn't fix it
Didn't fix it.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, we think they may have had ulterior motives because, like, there was a weird summoning circle, there was a demon in there.
So nefarious.
Profoundly nefarious. It's extremely spooky. And there's a street that, like, doesn't exist anymore that nobody remembers. And I thought to myself, you know who has a bird's eye view of all the streets? Moon does.
Moon does.
Do you know Limerick Street?
Limerick Street?
Limerin?
I think I know a Limerick Street.
Yeah, it's in Nantucket. I'm sorry, I've forgotten all my good rhymes from Shadow. I used to know a lot of good rhymes, but they slipped away. That's okay. Limerin Street. It used to be near where roomies moved to.
And there's a pause. I'm sorry, my friend, but I don't remember this.
It's okay, a lot of people don't remember it. That's what's so weird about it. But it's very interesting that somebody who can see it from the sky missed it, or doesn't remember it, or it doesn't exist right now in this current right now that exists. That's important too, so thank you. Let's see. I played Cops and Robbers with Erish today. That was fun.
And you hear a soft as the clouds then start to move in and
Talk to you next time.
bye.
Bye. Erish kind of peeks her head back into the mailbox and says, Moon says hi, and expresses their condolences for having to move out of the station.
Thanks to the moon
No.
for its concern.
You know what would cheer you up? A candy.
All right.
Eat it.
Don't do it, Jimmy.
What's candy look like?
I mean, it looks like a marble now.
Yeah.
How long have you had this here candy?
What candy
Eat it to
happened
gain
this
its
morning?
strength.
It's a little stale, maybe?
I seem to have lost a pocket full of candy and gained a pocket full of marbles. Do you know how to play marbles?
I think you shoot them somehow. Maybe I can make a gun.
Let's make a gun.
Oh, okay.
And that's where we'll cut the session. Let's make a gun.
Yeah.
Done. Calling it there.
That was in the back of my head as like, yeah, one day 11th Street is going to end up with a firearm somehow.
Come
Or a
back.
slingshot or something.
Come back 2 weeks from now, and everyone in that neighborhood is just...
Oh, yeah, it's total sniper's perch, right?
Oh no, Roger.
First, this time I'm just going to get this out of the way at the beginning. The acumen that everybody gets for the session. There was one for defeating the clock, and one for getting the information out of the ghosts that could advance the Limerin Street mystery. So everybody gets 2.
Dos cerveza.
You might get more if you've advanced your personal goal. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. All right. As far as character arcs go, I mean, technically, Valen did some crazy magic, and the professor even commented on how cool that was.
Mhm.
So be part of a story that people will tell.
Okay. This is the first time you've advanced
Yes.
that one? Then I will give you 1 point as this could be the beginning of a story.
Well, yeah, you're a dope
Mal is a
wizard now.
badass major wizard.
Any other character arcs?
No.
Then, Malin, how was your day?
Well, I walked into some caution tape, because that happens, and then I started a trash can on fire, so I feel like, mathematically, not great? Doing cool magic is great, but also I started 11th Street's house on fire, and I definitely clumsied 2 or 3 times, and then I ate so much, and now I feel gross.
Okay, that's fair. Up until then, it's like, I don't know if you get a despair. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, you ate too much and now you feel gross. That gives you despair.
Food coma counts as despair. I love it.
Who wants to go next?
I have a gun now, although I'm working on a gun with my friend.
Yeah,
I
that
feel like
Probably
Like,
something.
they are besties, and I think this illustrates why. I think I did help 11th Street build himself a home, because...
Yeah, you have taken the beginning steps to that, so
Yeah.
you can definitely take an acumen for starting that.
Okay. And I'm a little bit torn, because on one hand, like, only Rachel definitely felt very strongly that she was out of her depth, especially when she realized that this was a Goetic who was much more advanced than she was, who was summoning this. And so, like, there's definitely a feeling like, oh, I don't know if I'm up to this. Like, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that went really well today as well. Like, I got to have a cream soda. Like, I'm working on a gun. I act like I'm extremely annoyed, but it's kind of fun having my roomies around. Like, it's nice. Got to have a nice chat with Moon. Got to eat a double cheeseburger. And I only ate one double cheeseburger. That was...
So it sounds like you're going to take a joy for the session.
See, those were all, like, weird things we did in the after section, though. The plot stuff is probably a despair.
Well, okay, you want a despair, you can have a despair.
I want to be sad.
Yeah, you need it to advance, you can have it.
Well, 11th Street, honestly, I don't think I got any additional acumen because, like, any progress that was made towards his goals, this was just undoing bad stuff that had already happened. Unless somehow, but this was mostly the professor discovering a little bit more about Limerence Street, whatever it's called. That's related to the blue scroll. That would be the only possible way I could get acumen.
I'll give you one towards fixing up the station, because you guys went in there in an attempt to either reclaim your things or fix up the station in some way. So it wasn't a big step, but it was a baby step towards it.
And then as far as joy and despair, I actually think that this session was joyful for 11th Street, even though he was a little upset throughout the whole thing, because he didn't get set back any more than he already was, besides the clock demon, and we took care of that. So this was very small baby steps towards some new things, and plus, at the very end, getting excited about a gun.
Yeah, we're definitely making a marble gun. It's gonna be dope.
You can take your joy.
As for the professor, his only character arc right now is to uncover the secret about the legacy, learn about it.
Mhm.
I don't think he made any substantial progress on that specifically, so nothing there.
Yep.
I think he did have a pretty good day. He pulled out the big guns with his magic. He cast a spell so powerful that it just worked. And that is, I think, something he is totally into. So I think that's just a joy there.
You can take your joy. All right, that is everybody. So we would like to thank everybody and make everyone aware that if you'd like to join the conversation or create some NPCs or some demons to live in 11th Street, that you can join us on our Reddit, Hidden Among Hearts. Post there, subscribe there. I check there, and I'm going to start using people's things, and if I use your thing, I will credit you in the end segment here.
You can follow us on Twitter at Among Heartscast, or visit our website at hiddenamonghearts.com. You can also get us on whatever your podcast app is. We're both on Google Play and on iTunes, and leave us a review if you enjoy what we've done here and help other people find the show. That would be just the best.
Okay, I think that's everything we have for you this evening. So thank you for joining us tonight, Terrence.
Thanks,
Bye,
Terrence.
Thanks,
Sprinkling of
Anybody want a cat treat?
maybe. What's a cat treat look like?
It's kitty treats. Like the kind that you give to a cat.
I have cats.
I have them in my purse.
Why?
Because I like to befriend cats. I picked it up. I was like, you know what? Enough of my friends have cats that I'm invested in the friendship of.